If I come up and I fall off, that's on me. That's on me. If I come up and I fall off, that's on me. That's on me. If I come up and I fall off, that's on me. If I fall and I sell out, that's weak. That's why I take my time before I make my mind up. And I do this like 7 days of the week. And I grind so hard, I don't get much sleep. I had to earn my stripes, so I don't have to work no 9 to 5. Yeah, we be taking everything for granted, no lie. Cause I remember days that we could barely get by. Used to use the negativity to get high. But now the comments we reading can ruin our lives. Why? It used to be easy back on Easy Street. Hollywood ain't that good, it's going down like it's on a needle beat. Even though now it's lobster, all on top of my pasta, I can still feel locked up, like the head of a roster. They'll take your soul from right up under your nose and make you feel like you did it just to obtain your goals. Oh yeah, it's good when you get it, but it don't last that long. Cause I promise you can't take it with you when you go. That's why I come up and I fall off, that's on me. If I fall and I sell out, that's weak. That's why I take my time before I make my mind up. And I do this like 7 days out of the week. And I grind so hard, I don't get much sleep. I had to earn my stripes, so I don't have to work no 9 to 5. Yeah, we can learn from other people's failures sometimes. I used to make believe and tell a plethora of lies. Now I see how actions take effect on my life. Cause I don't even have a portrait of this family of mine. I used to be speeding back on Easy Street. Hollywood ain't that good, it's going down like it's on a needle beat. Even though I got options, every tree in this garden, I can still feel lost, cause every day I wonder, yeah, will it take my soul from right up under my nose and make me feel like I did it just to obtain my goals? I mean, it's good when you get it, but it don't last that long, cause I promise you can't take it with you when you gone. That's why if I come up and I fall off, that's on me. If I fall and I sell out, that's weak. That's why I take my time before I make my mind up. And I do this like 7 days out of the week. And I grind so hard, I don't get much sleep. I had to earn my stripes, so I don't have to work no 9 to 5.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Shout out to the moderators. If you can hear me clearly, give me a 1 in the chat box. If you hear me good in the chat box, give me a number 1. Music that is acceptable levels, give me a number 2. And we'll be getting started real quickly. Awesome. Thank you, Abdul. Shout out to Abdul. Shout out to Gail. And shout out to all of you who get on the stream during the course of the live stream. And also, as always, for those of you that get on after the stream has streamed in real time, I thank you for your participation as well. I tell you, I've been gone for a little while, missed a few streams. I definitely thank you for your patience. For those of you that were looking forward to those streams, I haven't spoken to you since last week, and for circumstances beyond my control. I suffered, and I'm still experiencing actually, an allergic reaction that I had encountered at my place of work. So we're getting through it. And like all things, as always, what I say is we build it as we fly it. So I'm back, and I'm happy to be back. I trust that everyone has had a fantastic several days since the last time that I came before you. trust that everyone has been safe, that you've had a good weekend that just recently passed. Like I mentioned in my previous stream, I am very tired, physically tired. To the men that hear this stream, for those of you that may not have been aware of the post, this is Men's Week. I expect that all of you that are men and you are members of my stream, of this group, let's talk about it, that you would take time to participate in yourself. Take time to participate in yourself. Because I'll tell you something, with all the talking points that are had, with every stream, where we discuss areas and issues as it relates to the women that we say we want, what would be the point if even you did not participate? Because this week, I'm talking to us. That's who I'm talking to this week. Some of the talking points as I speak to us this week. For some of you that are timid, for some of you that are beta, for some of you that are simps, you're going to get triggered by some of these talking points this week. But I assure you this, that if you open up your ears, and if you open up your mind, and if you remove any feminine characteristics that you may have developed over the years, you'll be able to get through the talking points and find the escape hatch to some of the issues, some of the setbacks, perhaps, that you are experiencing yourself as men. Because, again, like I've said in the previous stream, when I did a Men's Week, I said, I am you. I'm not special. No, not at all. But what I want to make clear to some of you is that neither are you. We become special by our actions and what we do going forward. So, again, salute to the men that participate in this week's streams, which are designed to speak to us. You see the talking point tonight. Men have been regarded as weak, easy, and a fool, and I mean a good fool too, to the modern woman. Do you want to learn why? I'm glad you asked me, because I am eager to tell you. I am eager to tell you. Let's start off with a few things. First and foremost, you've heard me mention in a previous stream, for those of you that got on my stream, you've heard me say, this is not how I go to work every day. I'm going to start there to lay a foundation to this conversation. This is not how I go to work, in a suit, in a tie, or a bow tie. No. If you saw me in the afternoon hours when I came home, there is a stark contrast between how I look right now on my stream and how I look when I come home. Why is this important? Why is this important? I'm glad you asked. Because all too often, men, we disregard a thing called ethnic image. Let's get into it. What is ethnic image? Ethnic image means how you desire to be looked at. One thing is for certain. You only get one chance, one opportunity to give a first impression. And sadly, and to my sad regret, many of us as men, we tend to falter and drop the ball when it comes to that first impression. That first impression today with the modern man is that to sag your pants, let's start there, to sag your pants and to expose the name brand of the underwear that you're wearing. I'm going to go there because I want to be clearly honest with you, brothers, gentlemen, men in general, black men in particular. I want to be real clear with you. Nobody gives a damn whether your underwear was purchased at Gucci. No one gives a damn whether you have Fendi drawers on. No, they don't. No one cares if you have Louis Vuitton drawers on. No one cares. Underwear is called underwear because they're supposed to be under your clothes. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, they're supposed to be under your clothes. And there's a thing called dress size, your clothing size, I should say. If you are 32-inch waist, please explain to me why, men, you think it's important to wear a 36. I'm going somewhere, follow me. I want to know why you wish to look like a bag man in your jeans. I know you call it sagging, but the only thing that's sagging amongst the men, black men in particular, is the mentality. We have a sagging mentality. That sagging mentality gets us sagging results. I really want to understand, how is it that wearing your pants, hanging off your behind, I really want to understand how pants that are twice your size, I really want to understand why your hair not being groomed. I really want to understand, how is it that your vocabulary and how you communicate, that if it's not with verb and subject agreement, that somehow we begin to categorize other men as, oh, you sound white. My next question, what does white sound like? And in contrast, my next question would be, what does black sound like? Because clearly, if I have verb and subject agreement, which is intelligent communication, then the opposite would be unintelligent communication. Have we really reduced to that level? Is it and could it be that how we carry ourselves and how we have now become accustomed to communicating with one another, and how we've become accustomed to what real relationships look like? I know it's not always your fault, at least not in the early stages. We'll talk about the latter stages in just a minute. But I know it's not altogether your fault in the early stages, because many of us, we grew up with in homes where those relationships were extremely dysfunctional. I get it. So I'm there with you. I myself came up under some dysfunction, no doubt. I'm like you. I came up under a lot of dysfunction, in fact. But here is where the question is. If what you came up under, you found yourself unhappy about, what I always want to ask is, why is it that you feel it's a good idea to perpetuate the same attitude, the same behavior, the same dysfunctional way of doing things as you go into what's called adulthood? Or is it that you've never grown up? See, I want you to stay focused at what tonight's stream is all about. What is the subject? Men have been regarded as weak, easy, and a fool to the modern woman. I want you to learn why. I'm going to explain, and I'm going to attempt to detail and itemize every area by which we find ourselves viewed, looked at as a fool, looked at as easy, and looked at as weak from amongst our women that we encounter. Let me ask you this question, gentlemen. How old are you? How old are you? You're beyond the age of 18? What plans have you put in place for yourself? Or is that not an important thing to do at this point? Who's coddling? Who's protecting? Who's encouraging you to lose your manhood? Let me ask you a question. What do you see when you walk out in your own community? I'll tell you what I see. I see images of lost boys and defeated masculinity. Lost boys and misplaced manhood. That's what I see. Herein lies the problem. I've said in many streams, brothers, and you, if you are like 85% of us, of families and black families in particular, we represent and we come from a community of single parents. Those single parents are headed by a woman, right? And because it's headed by a woman, the inability to show you, to guide you, to direct you in what's necessary that would make you develop into a full-grown, developed young man, that perhaps your attitude, your behavior, your conduct, and your pursuits in your life might surpass those of the men that perhaps your mother may have experienced. She doesn't have those tools to give you. She doesn't have it. So, what do most of us do under those circumstances? We find ourselves in the company of those who may look like us, talk like us, but behave very negatively. We take on bad habits at a young age. We take on bad ideas and thought processes at a young age. Understand this, that as you begin to still grow into adulthood, you now begin to exercise the natural inclinations that come with being a male. And that is the desire of a female. Here's where the problem is, though. Once you get those desires to encounter a female, you have nothing to give her except your ability to have sex. Now, can you give her an ability to have a conversation? I'm talking about a productive, intelligent conversation. You know, when I look at our community, here's what I see. I see an army of men that have been virtually defeated, virtually in so many cases emasculated, and virtually in so many ways dumbed down. Dumbed down, not because they're dumb. No, not because you're dumb, brothers. Dumbed down by situations and circumstances at an early age, formative age, beyond your control. But I want to say this to you, like I've said in every stream. The world owes me and the world owes you no understanding. And I will promise you this, it will give you none. You will not get any understanding. If you want to get better outcomes, it's going to take you pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. Because no one's coming to save us. No one's coming to save us. No one's coming to save you. You know, doors don't open because you're a handsome young man. Doors will never open because you've lifted a few weights. No, doors will never open because you necessarily speak well. Those three things help, but you need something else. You need ambition. You need ambition. You have to find something that you're passionate about. Find it. However long it takes, but find it quickly as you can. That's the advantage that you have as men. The advantage that you have, that I have as men, is that time for us becomes an asset. Time for us becomes an ally. On the other hand, time for women becomes an adversary. Why is that important? Because what I'm saying to you, men, that as you're looked at as weak, as you're looked at as fools, and as you're looked at as easy, you have an advantage. Even if you waste too much time. I'm not encouraging you to do so. But if you find yourself in the late years of your life, and you think it's over for you, no, it's not over for you. It could be just beginning, but you have to move a little faster in the later years, even for you, even for us. You have to move a little faster. You have to get a little more aggressive. No one will understand why you're doing it like that. No one will understand. And what I would say to you is, who cares? So what? They don't understand. They weren't trying to understand you as you wasted time. All they did was say, you know, he's weak. He's easy. He's a fool. Right? So when you pull your own self up by your own bootstraps, you then need to link up to others that are also in that same process. I'm going to tell you something. If you think that changing your life is going to be about you continuing to stay around the same circle of losers, the same circle of deadbeats, the same circle of individuals that have already tailor-made their life around failure and around setbacks and around excuses, where all they do, it could be as something as simple as playing video games or, you know, smoking weed 24 hours a day or whatever, you know, whatever. See, the thing about an unambitious person, there is no expedience about anything. Nothing is expedient to a person who is non-ambitious. There is no rush to do anything. There is no urgency or sense of urgency, I should say, to do anything. Everything to that individual looks like they have time. Looks like, you know, someone's doing something for me. So because they're doing something for me suggests that I have to do nothing for myself. This is a problem in communities, but this is certainly a problem in the black community in particular, and with our men, and, brother, with you. Oh yeah. What's your end game? What's your goal? Why is that important? Because most of us that are men, we want women. Oh, no doubt. I mean, that could be questionable nowadays. But for those of us that consider ourselves heterosexual, let me be clear. For those of us that want women, let me say that. We know for certain that we have to do something. What is that something that we have to do? For one, you got to look at where you are. You got to look at where you are. Because I will tell you this, the same way that we have things that we require from the women that we say we want, don't think you'll escape. There are things for a quality woman that she wants. I'm talking about a quality woman now. I'm not talking about Shanae. Nah. I'm not talking about Shaquita. Nah. No. I'm not talking about those female individuals in the society who have no necessary standard. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those women who have a standard and perhaps is wife material. I will tell you this, if she's not wife material, you have nothing to strive for anyway. You can stay exactly the way you are. And if she's not wife material, what she thinks doesn't even matter. She won't even ask you what you think. She won't even ask you to change anything. See, the wrong woman don't even know how to clean her house. She'll look nice on the outside in public, while her house looks like a bulldozer ran through it. It'll look like a toxic waste dump site. So, what she requires doesn't even matter. I'm talking to you men who want better outcomes. If you're tired of Shanae, understand that the only reason you've met Shanae is because you're Pookie. The only reason you met Shanae is because you're Nug-Nug. The only reason that you met Shanae is because you are Murder Mike. Come on, men. How long do you expect to go throughout your entire life believing that this is the way to go. How long? I know you didn't have the best example at home. I know. You probably had a father who was like Nug Nug or Tim Tim or Pookie. I get it. I understand. But you don't have to repeat the cycle. Because the display that's being shown before the public, women in general, black women in particular, is that you're weak and that you're easy. Easy to do what? Easy to manipulate. Easy to play. That you're weak. Why? Because you're weak when it comes to sex. You have no real requirements of her. She knows that all she has to do is present sex to you and you'll melt like an ice cube on a hot summer day. She knows that. You have no testicular fortitude to stand up against that kind of proposition. In turn, you get labeled as weak. I would say it's weakness also. But weak, easy, and foolish. Now I will tell you this. All of us, no matter how intelligent we are, all of us have played the fool sometimes. No doubt. No doubt at all. Myself included. All of us at some point have displayed behavior that could be easily characterized as weak. Myself included. All of us have displayed characteristics that appeared to make us look as if we were easy. Myself included. Again, I am you. But the difference between myself and many of you that may hear the stream is a decision was made. What are you doing? What decisions have you made to do anything that's different than the average person? What decision have you made? Or if blended into a deep, thick crowd, can we find you? Men, can you be found in a thick crowd because something about you in that thick crowd is different than everybody in that crowd? What makes you stand out? Is there anything that makes you stand out? Or do you look like everybody else? Do you sound like everybody else? Do you talk like everybody else? Do you laugh at the same silly jokes like everybody else? Do you view women in general from a low standard perspective simply because you operate from a low standard perspective? See, it's one thing to talk about what women do and how women act in relationship. But this modern woman who develops an idea and a mentality that, I don't need no man, the stupid mentality. But this modern woman who develops that mentality, those that are low class, they're repeating a thought process that, first of all, they don't even qualify for. Because they don't have to say they don't need a man. They'll never get one. They'll get boys. They'll get lost boys and broken manhood. That's what they'll get. So we're not talking about them. No, not at all. But if you want a female of higher class, a female that could easily be characterized as wife material. You have to get out of, overcome the weaknesses within ourselves. I like to do an example like this. One finger pointing at you and another thumb pointing back at myself. No, it's not a gun. This is a me and you position. Then, once you get stronger, then you have to find out what are the things that were so easily besetting you in the first place, which made you characterized, caused you to be characterized, I should say, as easy. And then in turn, what have you done? What are you doing that makes us fools in the eyes of the women that we would desire going forward? What is it? What is it? And here's the thing that's more importantly that I'd like to ask. What is it that you're willing to listen to that would actually get you to sit down and listen to outside of foolishness? Or are they correct in how they characterize you? Are you weak? Are you easy? And are you foolish? Since we all have been those three things at some point, have you gotten comfortable like a child that pees in the bed and lays in the warm spot too long and finds comfort in discomfort? Have you gotten to that place? Because if you have, this conversation may not help you. But for those of you that have already discovered that comfortable place was not so comfortable, and you wish to move from that uncomfortable place so that you can now present yourself to the public and to the world with an image that changes the narrative that you are weak, easy, and foolish. Do you want to change the narrative? Because I will tell you this. The women that you want, this modern woman, that's how she sees you. And I'm not going to let you brothers that are high earners, I'm not going to let you off the hook either. Because some of you are high earners, but you're the biggest simps walking around on 2 feet. Oh, I'm talking to you. Oh, yeah, you. You know, I'm talking to you. You're being played like a deck of cards that's been stacked. Oh, yeah. You just got more money to play with. But indeed, you're being played. You better believe it. In fact, you have more of an army of women coming to play you. Yeah, they see you as weak too. They see you as easy also. And they already found out after you spent so much money as a fool. So no one gets off the hook with this modern woman. No one gets off the hook with this modern woman. The modern woman sees the men, sees men in general, black men in particular, as weak, easy, and as fools. While they run circles around you from behind and from the side, from the left and right, from the rear and from the front. By the time you figure out circles have been ran around you, for a lot of you, it's too late. For a lot of you, it's too late. I wanted to get on tonight, after not coming before you in a few days. This is going to be a short stream tonight. I can go longer, but I'm a little uncomfortable because of what I mentioned to you earlier. But I wanted to come before you. I will be back before you tomorrow, God willing. But I thank all of you that get on the stream, that got on the stream tonight, and for those of you that get on the stream after this is streamed in real time. Shout out to, let's see, who did I miss? Let me see. Shout out to Margaret. Shout out to you. Love you. Thank you for getting on the stream tonight. Yeah, guys, men in general. This is Men's Week, so keep coming back. I'm talking to you this week. The subject title tonight was, Men have been regarded as weak, easy, and a fool to the modern woman. Are you easy? Are you weak? And are you a fool, most importantly? Turn this thing around. Fix your image. Fix your conversation. Fix your attitude. Fix everything if you wish that narrative to change. With that being said, I am your host, Charles Chambers. Another episode of Let's Talk About It. That being said, we are out. Have a good night, folks. Have a good night, folks.